HOZY Warriors, and welcome once again to the Dream Drop, the show here on I Dream of Indie Games where we go through the week-by-week releases of indie and AA games. And boy, is there a lot to get through this week. So this week, as we focus on March 30th through April 6th, we have a lot to tell you about. But we will not be featuring early access games, so if that's what you're looking for, I'm afraid you will not find it here, though there is still lots to sink your teeth into. But before we get into the full list, let me tell you about patreon.com/I Dream of Indie Games, the perfect place to go if you want to support real people making real things and help us keep giving a voice to the voiceless. So without further ado, here is this week's Dream Drop.
The Dream Drop.
We're kicking things off real cozy with HOZY, a brand new relaxing sandbox game all about restoring and redecorating old rooms and locations. With 9 different locations in one sad neighbourhood, all in need of some serious TLC, this is a game all about taking things slow and revelling in the details, whilst also probably getting a bit annoyed when it doesn't look as nice as it did in your head, or the nice candle sits slightly off-centre on your mantelpiece. Every room has a story, and you'll get to enjoy the sounds of decor and the satisfying way of painting the walls when HOZY launches on the 30th. We're exploring the South American wilderness now, in a slightly more intense game than the last, Truck Mechanic Dangerous Paths. A mix of driving and maintenance is required as your truck takes beating after beating from the world you're trucking through. The parts you've got to repair are in need of some serious and meticulous upkeep, requiring you to use a whole host of diagnostic and repair tools that you'll need to complete jobs to earn the money for. Fix stuff, break stuff, and then fix stuff again when Truck Mechanic Dangerous Paths launches on PC on the 30th of March. Also hitting PC on the 30th is psychological horror game Paragnosia Museum, an anomaly spotting game set in a supernaturally haunted museum. Luckily for our protagonist Esther Mason, you're not directly hands-on with the ghouls as you're sending in a cam on rail through the various sections of the museum, which lets you document and exercise any of the 130 anomalies you can encounter. Missing anomalies isn't just embarrassing, but also dangerous, as each one you miss brings the big bad closer to you. Get spooky early this week with Paragnosia Museum. The urban legends of The Backrooms inspired many a story, short film and game. And now, Accidental Studios are hitting us with some psychological horror that forces us to solve puzzles from within a spooky world-bending location. Launching exclusively on PC on the 31st, this handcrafted nightmare features light and perspective puzzles, environmental challenges, and that horrible pit-of-your-tummy feeling that something is wrong. Built to look as horribly real as can be when the world is anything but, you're set to get suitably spooked when Subliminal launches this week. I personally love a 2p machine, or for those of you who didn't grow up going to English seaside towns, a coin pusher. And so, RACCOIN Coin Pusher Roguelike may just be the chaotic blast of nostalgia I'm looking for. This roguelike deck builder is all about beefing up your stats, creating huge and crazy combos, and feeling immense dopamine as all those coins come tumbling down. There are over 150 unique items to use that will add even crazier effects and throw the most random spanners into the works. Plus, with 6 different characters all with their own coins and playstyles, there is plenty of chaos to create and combos to master when this one launches on the 31st onto PC. Much like my love for playing games about cleaning while simultaneously hating to clean in real life, Cooking Simulator 2 Better Together is for those people who hate to cook but love to play games about cooking. Maybe you hate to wash up, or maybe you just want to feel the chaos as you and your friends jump into the kitchen to cook up a storm. The original Cooking Sim was a lot of silly fun, putting your cooking and restaurant running skills to the test. And if you're not feeling any of the recipes the game provides, then you can craft all kinds of unique meals with any ingredients you wish. And I suppose the best thing about it being virtual is that nobody has to actually eat any of it. Cooking Sim 2 launches on PC on the 31st. Normal strategy games give you the reins to control your inhabitants. However, brand new fantasy RTS Crown of Greed needs you to master their new indirect management system, where you need to expertly bend your citizens and heroes to your will. You'll build cities, claim taxes, and use the money to increase the power of your kingdom. Your heroes may decide not to do your bidding, as unfortunately they have free will. How inconsiderate. And you'll need to find ways to convince them to go in any way you can. Take over the world of Rodovia when Crown of Greed launches on Steam on the 31st. A filthy looking Metroidvania next makes the list. Grime 2, the follow-up to a well-loved release from a few years back. This isn't your usual Metroidvania, as you have quite the variety of ways to attack foes, including creating clay moulds of your enemies to use against them. Its world looks disgustingly beautiful, features a sprawling map to explore, an insane amount of bosses and upgrades, and loads of unique gameplay mechanics. Hopefully the developers have cleaned it up in time for release. I've heard of The Last Man Standing, but never The Last Man Sitting. That is, until now. Coming to us from publisher Raw Fury, Last Man Sitting is a roguelike arena shooter that takes place in an office setting. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Skate around on your office chair blasting down anything in sight. Build up loadouts and gain XP with each round. See if you can climb up the corporate leaderboards on the 31st. Another week, another narrative RPG. This one is set in the 1930s, which won't be the last game to make that creative decision on this week's list, strangely. Enjoy tense technical battles and unravel a dark world in Aether Iron. Most battles will be taking place in vehicles, which is a nice change of pace. Plus, there's an amazingly talented writing team on board who have worked on the likes of Far Cry and Mass Effect. The story explores social divides and your choices very much matter, so choose wisely and grab this exciting indie. As a bit of a King Arthur geek, Legends of the Round Table has my attention with its title alone. In this highly authentic medieval RPG, you'll guide the kingdom through grand tales of honour, magic and romance, plus the occasional knight who's definitely forgotten to put on deodorant before charging into battle. Your quests are adapted from real medieval stories, back when entertainment meant staring at illuminated manuscripts instead of scrolling on Netflix. The game's art is meticulously hand-drawn, using genuine illuminated manuscript techniques, so every scene looks like it was crafted with absurd amounts of love, patience and care. They've even gone as far as adapting the real music from real 13th century compositions, which is some serious commitments to the bit. Loot players everywhere, you may just have a job in indie gaming yet. Bad news folks, somebody kicked the bucket. But the good news is they want you to posthumously investigate their death. Welcome to the Posthumous Investigation. A stylish murder mystery set in 1930s Rio de Janeiro, soaked in noir atmosphere and packed with suspects, secrets, and the occasional eyebrow-raising oddity. You'll sift through clues, interrogate shady characters, and try not to get distracted by the gorgeous hand-drawn visuals, while you're supposed to be, solving a homicide. No pressure or anything, but you're on the clock in this intriguing adaptation of a Brazilian author's work. With all its charm and mystery, this seems like a case worth cracking wide open. Fans of the Legacy of Kain franchise have been thirsting for more, and can now sink their teeth into a brand new entry, Legacy of Kain Ascendance. Explore the dark world of Nosgoth in this gritty 2D action platformer, where your skills will be pushed to the limit. This vibrant pixel art will be accompanied by a fittingly gothic soundtrack with returning voice talents, advanced combat, and yes, plenty of blood. Say Victus on March 31st. Well now, saddle up partner, because this tale ain't for the faint of heart. I would like to formally apologise to any cowboys watching. A Souls-like western full of eldritch horrors is riding into town, and trust me, you don't want to let this indie tumbleweed roll on by. Welcome to Tombwater, a 2D action RPG set in the dusty Wild West, where poking around saloons and alleys is all fun and games, until something nastier than a rattlesnake decides you're on the menu. Expect metric volumes of blood, a sprawling world with a map that would make any Metroidvania fan take notice, and a deliciously gritty western vibe that sticks to you like desert dust. You'll saddle up with over 50 weapons and take on 20 bosses this week. Now that's what I call a rootin' tootin' good time. Wake up, indie dreamers. We must head off to Slumberland in the newest adventure to star Little Nemo. Little Nemo and the Guardians of Slumberland features beautiful art, and to our surprise upon playing the demo a few months back, it plays somewhat like a traditional Metroidvania. There's a standard map, bosses, and no shortage of exploration to be had. Someone pinched me because I must be dreaming. Don't worry, there's accessibility options available if you start to struggle with your sleep paralysis demon. The platforming feels quite nice, and you'll be taking in the sweet, soothing tunes of Peter Berkman of Anomaly as you play. Sweet dreams are made of these. Behold, brave traveller, gather round, for a tale of salt, sun, and soggy ambition awaits. Alright, dramatic intro over. Let's talk sea, sun, and salt. Will you build a thriving civilization that stands tall against the elements, or will it collapse faster than a sandcastle at high tide? You're dropped onto a Mediterranean island and tasked with building a city fit for a king. Or at least someone who knows how to use a machete. You'll juggle essentials like food, shelter, and maybe even a tanning booth. Okay, I made that last one up. With customizable difficulty, over 100 building types, and runs that can last for up to 10 hours, there is plenty of sand to sink your toes into. Let's hop onto the production line in Modulus Factory Automation, where you're free to craft your own little, or absolutely massive, mechanical masterpiece. Tackle logistical puzzles that could make even the most seasoned warehouse manager cry, all whilst unleashing your creativity in this clever new indie release. You'll automate, optimise and fine-tune every inch of your operation until the workflow hums along smoothly. With tons of supply bots buzzing around and a full creative mode to let your imagination run wild with, this sandbox gives you the tools to build whatever your inner engineer dreams of. Punch in, power up, and prepare to build a factory that would make even the break room proud. Konami is trying something a bit different with Darwin's Paradox launching on PC this week. This AA effort mixes swimming, platforming, stealth, and a bit of cheeky humour into one freakishly fun aquatic playground. Get out your scuba gear, indie warriors, as you prepare to dodge dangerous obstacles and explore a vast ocean in this exciting new adventure. Players shall also be treated to beautiful Pixar quality graphics as they meet a bevy of odd duck characters. This one has been on our radar for quite some time, so it's nice to see it finally swimming onto the scene on the 2nd. Sticking with the aquatic theme, next we swim on over to Fishbowl, an emotional, soul-soothing journey that dives deep into dreams, grief, and that little spark of hope the universe likes to show us once in a blue moon. Whoa, that got deep fast, huh? You'll explore memories as if you're a tiny goldfish in a mighty, mystical pond, piecing together who you are and where you fit in this wild, swirling world. This surreal cosmic trip places you in the sandals of young Alo, who just landed her first big job shortly after losing her grandmother. Expect tough choices, tender moments, and the chance to become the greatest video editor on this side of the astral plane. Peace, love, and emotional growth, dudes. Time to kick off those sandals and let your spirit guide you in Clean Up Earth, a co-op restoration adventure that's all about healing the world and making it a better place. For me, for you, and for the entire human race, man. Drift through this poetic journey solo or vibe with a few friends online as you work together in perfect cosmic harmony. And don't worry, all those positive vibes won't just float off into the universe. The game actually supports real-world environmental initiatives. No extra spending required. So breathe deep, check your chakras, and spread the love, brothers and sisters, because Mother Earth is counting on you. How much do you really know about yourself? Well, it's time to find out, with a little fur sprinkled in for good measure. Trivia about you tosses you straight into Carol's house, where you'll share cosy lovey-dovey moments with a cast of anthropomorphic roommates who have more personality types than a fairy convention. Before long, you'll be moving into Carol's yourself, and living right alongside these fluffy companions, each carrying no shortage of emotional baggage. Build strong bonds, share plenty of laughs, and discover the joys of life, and maybe a few stray hairs, in this charming new visual novel launching this week. Have you ever wondered what might happen if your Scrabble board suddenly became possessed? Well, wonder no more, because Cursed Words is here to spell out your doom one tile at a time. This roguelike may look innocent at first, but things go off the rails faster than you can nab a triple word score. You'll be chaining together creepy combos, breaking rules, and maybe even inventing new ones that would make your English teacher cry. Each run is shaped by 4 main pillars, and your vocabulary will take on a life of its own as you collect 200 stickers, unlock 8 quirky characters, face 16 bosses, and tackle 20 brain-twisting challenges that'll leave your mind feeling like a pretzel. Just be warned, in this game, words don't just hurt, they fight back. Now, we know I love a city builder. They are a true guilty pleasure of mine. But normally, city builders require a ground to build upon, and in All Will Fall, the world is completely flooded. Not only will you have the usual challenges of keeping your inhabitants alive and happy, but now you have to contend with physics-based construction and the ever-changing tides of the world. If you forget to stabilise or reinforce your structures, you could see all your hard work come tumbling down straight into the sea. All Will Fall isn't just a title, it's a promise, and you can find out for yourself on April 3rd. Let's next hop into Anomaly 404, the only game where your eyes deceive you more than your ex. Playing as a journalist, you've been shipped off to a top secret bunker to investigate the ominously named Project 404. Because nothing says totally safe like a codename that sounds like a dangerous URL. Once inside, you'll quickly discover this place is about as stable as a Jenga tower. Walls twist, objects shift, and things change right in front of you. Your mission? Photograph anomalies and uncover oddities in this first-person spot the difference horror adventure. With over 100 ghosties lurking around and a full sanity system keeping tabs of your mental state, you'll want to keep your cool with this release on the 3rd. Anime lovers, assemble! Why not hop on board with Kijutsu Rider, a fiery new third-person action game where you command 5 mighty heroes on a quest to save the world. Because, of course, the world needs saving again. Battling against the sinister Black Cross conglomerate, you'll parry, dodge, and unleash your inner Goku as you slice through hordes of fierce foes in this stylish romp. With 15 intense levels, 25 enemy varieties, and 10 bosses that absolutely refuse to go down without a dramatic final form, this game is basically a full season anime arc packed into one explosive ride. This release is set to punch through early this week. A Rat's Quest, The Way Back Home, will be kicking off its first season this week, scurrying onto Steam from the Dreamerians. Our lead character, Matt, falls head over tail for Nat, and sets off on a rodent-infested journey to win her heart. You'll jump, crawl, and sneak your way through tight corridors in this quirky platformer that looks totally radical. This cheddar-filled adventure promises plenty of laughs, so don't get caught in a trap and grab it for yourself on the 3rd. I've always dreamed of owning a food truck, but I'm not sure this is the clientele I imagined. Wasteland Bites closes out our week, a horrific twist on a food truck simulation. Mixing in survival elements, you'll serve up bizarre cuisine to mutants. You know, the stuff like our parents used to eat, lamb's tongue, pig's feet, the list really does go on. Actually here, the food is even more horrific than you can believe. Try not to mess up any orders and manage resources carefully in this odd duck release coming to us from Cosmic Dev. That's all the games we have for you this week. Will you be adding any of those to your library? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out our Patreon, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week for another Dream Drop.